Hi, I'm Camila,
And I'm Ashley,
and this is
and this is Hold
Hold
My
My
TBR.
TR, where we're going to be talking about all the fun books that we read. But it's not all the fun books that we read. It's gonna be the book that like makes us go, God dang, let's talk about this
Yes,
instead of
yes.
this is one of them. Do you have the actual physical book, or do I have to raise it?
I
Yes.
got it.
Okay, I got this on like Audible and Kindle, so but not the physical.
I got the physical one because all the first editions were signed.
Ooh, lucky. But for those of
So
you,
if you go buy it, literally every single book in the store right now is still signed.
I will probably go by it after we're done recording this. Thank you. But for those of you who did not see the title, it is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And it is by V.E.
V.E. Schwab.
Schwab. Yes, V.E. Schwab. Ashley, let's talk about this book. Why don't you tell Diara? Because I go into ADHD mode and I explain and over explain and then add parentheses.
So, I'm actually paraphrasing V.E. Schwab and how she explains this book because she explained it perfectly. It is the story of a one night stand. And the irony is this is her first one night stand. And Alice, the person in the one night stand, wakes up dead. And this is a story of the history that led to this one night stand's consequences.
Yes. And before we go any further, we will be spoiling the
Everything.
ever-loving shit out of this book. So if you're curious,
Everything.
if you want to read it, we love you and we appreciate you hanging out with us, but just save this for when you're done. Otherwise, let's talk.
Yes.
Right off the bat, this book grabbed my attention so hard at just how it was written. I just love the way Schwab writes.
Me too. It's
Oh,
really interesting. She is kind of a hit or miss author for me.
nice.
Like, adored The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Very similar writing style to this one. But I hated her Vicious series. And everyone was like, Ashley, the Vicious series is up your alley because it's a dark take on superheroes. But I just couldn't get into it. So I was really glad because I've been following this book since it was announced that it lived up, well, it more than lived up to my
Yeah, no,
expectations.
this book was fantastic, and it took me. I got the Audible, which I highly recommend. Um, just having because there are three different. There's Lottie. There's oh my God, Lottie. There's Sabine, and there's
Alice.
Alice, and they are all very different women, and they have very different narrators in the audiobook, and
Hmm.
it's done so nicely. Like the way it's brought to life. That's what grabbed me by the balls. It was like, you're gonna love this book. I was like, yes, give me. I want it. But yeah. How do we start this? Where do we want to start dicing into this?
I don't know. Maybe we break up our three women.
Okay. Let's talk about the
I think we
mother of
should start with
all,
Sabine,
yes, the mother of all I don't even know what to call her at this point.
the mother of all toxicity.
Jesus. Like from the get-go, you know she's gonna like she was going to be something of like
Yes.
what's it called? A force of nature in this book, but
Oh, yeah.
for her to turn to villainy. I really liked her story at the beginning, like how her character was shaped. It was it was a hard life.
Yeah. Like, I really appreciated, like, it showed how much it sucked to be a woman in the
Yeah,
1500s.
it sure
And, like,
did.
even her way out to a better life, she discovers wasn't a way out to a better life.
No, no, it was not. It was not to a better life whatsoever. But no, it was. If anything, it was more of a like she had more freedom before she got married, and when she found
Yeah.
that her life was horrible, and she just wanted. It was too boring for her. It was too like it was too small for her. She was meant for bigger things, girl.
And then she got the bigger things at the expense of her freedom.
Can I just say I did not expect her to suck Sabine dry?
I
Maria.
didn't
Like, I
either.
did not
Oh,
expect her to
we
say.
should mention
Yes.
there's two Sabines in this book.
But yes, there are two Sabines in this book. The one who starts out as Maria and the widow who is Sabine, the OG.
And then the real Sabine of this book just kind of stole everything from her. Her blood, her name, her
Yeah.
cover story.
Yeah. She literally did some crazy identity theft right there.
Yeah,
Never looked back, just left, and rightfully so. Like her life completely changed, and it was
or her
interesting.
death. Technically,
Well,
it's her death,
yeah,
but
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And she meets Renata and Hector. Those two are beautiful.
I really appreciated that they were both the deadly, like, Black Plague and the Spanish Inquisition. Like,
But
they're the reason all these people died, not the part of history that we thought was why everyone
right,
died.
it's just a cover-up story for what really happened. And those two just went to town.
Dressing up as plague doctors to be welcomed into a town
Yeah, this
and
is
then
cool.
being like, surprise, we're the plague.
I like how things bubbled over a, a long period of time. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
quick. Just because they have all the time in the world, they're dead. What do they care? They have the
Yeah,
ability. I love how for her to get sick of it, she was starting to get sick of it. And then like decades later, she kept getting more and more sick of Hector's like behavior and like it took that long for her to touch Renata. Like everything just
mm-hmm.
takes so long to progress for them in their life because they have such I love that detail.
Me too.
Love it.
Like, it's not the, like, fast paced love story everyone would expect. Like, no, they knew each other for like 50 years.
Mhm.
There was 50 years of pining.
Even after like the romance happened and everything. And I hate how they died. I absolutely despise how Hector and Renata died in the way that he's like, now we have to go after church. We have to do this. And it's sure we have to and then they
I
don't
know.
count and like one escapes.
I think the second chapter that Hector was in, I wrote down in my notes because I'm a note taker as I read
Mhm.
that Hector was going to be their downfall. And then I was right.
Oh yeah, no, you can tell from his like his sporadic behavior as the years went by and that she was getting annoyed with and like
Uh-huh.
the things that he would like latch onto and like have problems with and
I
he
know.
was
Well, I called it even before she hated him. It was so funny.
I kind of because they were much older than her. I wonder if he was reaching his point of no return and that's how it was
I
manifesting.
I think that's what it was with him because we didn't even know at that point in the book to be looking for a point of no return.
Right.
But like they were both older, but then he was also Renata's maker. So that means he probably had who knows how long over her too.
Right, right. To almost die in the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite thing that Sabine does is she keeps swearing off people and friendship, and then she's like, I am totally in my single girl forever era, and it always only lasts like 100 years.
Yeah, no, for real. Well, I'd rather that than what Charlotte does.
Yeah, Charlotte's my favorite though.
We'll talk about Charlotte here. Well, I,
We will.
because I mean, inevitably we're gonna have to we're gonna talk about them both at the same time because
Mhm.
they do overlap.
Then we go to Italy.
Oh my gosh, yes, Alessandro and
Matteo.
Matteo. Yes, I loved them.
I
It
did too.
me Last of Us season one, episode three couple.
Oh my goodness, yes, I had the exact same vibes about them.
No, I loved their story. It was I honestly liked respect Alessandro's wish to stay human and not turn.
Hmm.
And it
Yep.
sucked for Matteo, but
Everything was real, and he kept Matteo slightly more human. Because as soon as Alessandro died, Mateo just
Just kind of dipped
woof.
way down. Sabine was there.
And Sabine was there. I like that whole portion of her life really can just be like gone down to, and Sabine was there.
Yeah. I don't know if she was just completely with the right people at the right time for everything to happen as it did, but damn.
I mean, she learned how to hunt properly, so I guess that's what she did
Learn about her
without
weaknesses.
causing issues like the plague or the Spanish Inquisition. So she learned how to not do that.
Yeah. Learned weaknesses and what to avoid and things which were like very nicely passed down to her.
And powers. She learned vampire powers.
But yeah, vampire powers. Which God, her charisma roll is insane.
For reals.
I love, like I said, I go back to Schwab's writing. I love the way everything is just described in this book. From
Mhm.
literally like anything scenery or anything like feelings wise that the character is experiencing. It was just nice
Ugh.
living everything like through Sabine and that.
I know, and any time that she described Caraval, I was like, oh my goodness, she did her research because
Oh
I can
yeah.
just picture it perfectly. Alessandro died, and Matteo decided
He
to
got
find a doppelganger Alessandro and turn
yeah,
him into a vampire, which was a bad decision.
because that got him killed.
It didn't get him killed. It got the Alessandro lookalike killed, but Matteo,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah,
It looked like I forget his name.
I called him not Alessandro.
You know who came to mind? Like for some godforsaken reason, Astarion came to mind from Baldur's Gate 3.
You're not wrong though.
No,
Not Alessandro very much has Astarian vibes,
yeah.
and Mateo was horrified, and Sabine was like, "We should have been doing this the whole time."
Yeah.
But it's never explicitly said, and I know Ezra isn't even in Sabine's arc at all, but I'm pretty sure Mateo's the one who turned Ezra because he specifically went to the New World, and Ezra was turned around the American Revolution in Boston.
At the same time.
And we know that the other one, the slave,
I can't
you
remember.
love her name.
I'm really bad with names.
It's your grandma's name.
Oh, Antonia.
Yeah, Antonia.
Yeah, Antonia.
Antonia didn't turn Ezra, but she also vaguely mentioned Mateo. Like, in a way, Sabine wouldn't put it together, but the reader would.
No, that's cool. I did not put that together. Then again, it just probably just went over my head. But no,
To be honest, I had a theory for a while that Mateo was Ezra, and then that did not happen.
oh, I like Ezra. Ezra was a cool guy.
He was. Anyway, back to it. Also doesn't help that this book is not told in chronological order.
That it is not. I kind of like that it's not. I like the twists and turns and you get the story before you get that story, and it kept me on my toes.
I loved how Sabine and Charlotte's story was told in chronological order. And then we just keep going to Alice, who is like, what happened to me?
Yeah.
And why do I have to know all of this information before you tell me what happened to me?
Yeah, no, she's like, this story is a little too long. She's like, yeah, because this stuff is really important for you to know. So you know what kind of psycho you're dealing with at the moment.
Yes.
God, Sabine, man.
Sabine.
When that decline starts, it declines.
Starts. What I really appreciated is we have Sabine, and the moment she meets Lottie, we never have Sabine's point of view again in the book.
That is true. We do not.
And I really liked that because it really showed then, even though she turned Lottie, even though they were together, it really showed off. And this is the moment that Sabine lost who she was, where she hit that point of no return. And the rest of the story, she's not even human enough to tell her part of the story anymore.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I did notice that. It just kind of stops and you're like, oh, interesting. Okay. I also enjoy that. But I like how their story is actually pretty tragic.
It
Um,
really is.
it's a solid love story. They love each other. They've
Hmm.
seen every face, like every side of each other. They were together for over 100 years.
No, and I love, since I'm a Bridgerton like
Yeah, I
super
still have
fan.
not started that.
You need to. I loved how the beginning of Lottie's story, it just hard right into like Bridgerton era like love story, and I was like, I'm here for this. I'm here for me getting a surprise Bridgerton book in the middle of this book.
I did like that. I did like that a lot. I love how they meet. I love like one, the setting, like you said, it was perfect. But I have not started Bridgerton, so no connection there. But I did really, really love that setting. And I loved like the meeting at the ball, and she's just that mysterious lady with the accent, and
uh,
she's just teaching her all these things and taking her away, and it's slow
I
to get
know.
noticed, but it's okay because she's a widow. She's a widow.
It's okay. She's a widow. Nothing bad can happen with a widow. Lots of bad things can happen with a widow, but Regency standards, I love the way that she played with the Regency society rules and standards, because
Yeah, no,
that's
I
one of
love
the things
that.
that I love, not just about Bridgerton, but the Regency romance genre in general, is people playing around with those very strict society standards and finding ways to subvert them. And I thought she did such an amazing job at
I think-
that. Lottie's family.
Yeah, that uh, this
That hurt.
yeah, I don't know how I would have recovered from, my best friend who I dropped my diary, she picked it up, read, like pretend to go to read it, coaxed me into telling me what was written on it, and I told her basically that I love her face. We kissed for a hot minute. My brother kind of sees it, tells us to cut it out, and then my brother asked her to marry her. I'm like, what?
I mean, to be fair, it was the very last Sabine check.
Yeah.
She has heard the rumors about Lottie having some involvement with a girl. So my guess is, even though Lottie was very much shielded from these rumors, like she had no idea people were saying this about her,
Yeah.
my guess is her brother married her bestie as a way to save her reputation.
That is fair, but that's still pretty hurtful.
Hmm. He should have told her first,
Yeah.
but I think that's what happened.
This gave me House of the
Is
Dragon vibes, like with Viserys marrying Alicent. Anyway,
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I have to save your reputation because you don't deserve to get ruined for this. And my guess is the rumors at their home were a lot worse than what came to London.
fair. I didn't think about that, but that's fair.
I read so much Regency romance, can
I
you tell?
don't. Very much enjoyed it. Like I said, I loved how they met. I loved how their friendship blooms and
Hmm.
keeps blooming and blooms into something more than friendship.
Yeah, I think Sabine fell in love at first sight, and it
Oh
took
yeah,
Lottie a little bit longer.
she sure did fall at first sight. She's very obsessive with Lottie.
Oh, most definitely. I think that was part of the she started to hit her point of no return when she met the love of her life. Because there was so much of Sabine didn't want Lottie to ever meet another vampire,
Right.
which you thought, which is very strange considering she has so much history with other vampires.
Yeah.
So it's very much her independence turned obsession is now projecting
Mhm.
in a very, very toxic way because she's lost that part of her humanity to be like, oh, I'm projecting.
Yeah, yeah, to like that self-awareness isn't there anymore. It's just very interesting to watch it just go down.
With it, I also think there was a slight bit of self awareness just because she made Lottie promise never to hurt her.
Correct. So maybe she knew what she was doing.
I think she had the tiniest bit of self awareness and a very, very large self protection streak.
I mean, it's what like it was very Palpatine and Anakin kind of feel. I keep referring
Yeah.
to like other things, but that's
And listen,
how it made me
sometimes
feel.
analogies just are what makes it click in your brain.
Exactly. And then my brain just works in analogies and memes powered by those two. So, but it was just interesting to see. It was very much teach everything to this other person, but then like never trust them fully. It was it was very unfortunate that she failed to mention what promises were binding.
I
Even
know.
though convenient.
See, that's where I thought it was slightly self aware when she forced that promise.
She literally forced it out of her.
Because,
She got the most vulnerable moment.
uh huh,
She's like, just let me sleep. Whatever you say. Yeah, sure, I promise.
uh huh. And then that promise sets into action the entire rest of the book and all of Alice's plotline.
Sure does. And what a plot line it is. Now
Yes,
we kind of have to get her involved in the conversation because all three of
they
them are
do.
around.
They do. So,
She was very relatable in the beginning. I really enjoyed her.
mm-hmm.
I went through periods of
Poor
wanting to
Alice.
slap her and wanting to be like, no, it's okay, come here, but stop, but it's okay.
Alice was such an 18-year-old.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I appreciated that Sabine and Lottie, they both turned after their prefrontal cortexes were most of the way formed.
Yep.
Alice did not.
Uh,
She is very much an 18-year-old forever.
she is, and that's gonna be fun for her to deal with. My God,
Imagine being at the tail end of puberty forever. Like,
I want to cry. If I were a
yeah.
vampire, I would go find something to impale myself on. Like, I'm done.
I just lay down in the cemetery and be like, "Dirt, take me away!" And I wouldn't even be sure if it was vampire or teenage dramatics.
Yeah, no. She was a very interesting character, and she surprised me there at the end because I didn't expect her to be the one doing it. I thought it would I don't know if Sabine would kind of redeem herself in a way, which I didn't fully expect her to, but I kind of left that door open.
Oh, I never did. I was like, as soon as I realized we were never getting another Sabine chapter, I was like, "Oh, girl, gonna die."
No, it was just a matter of how. It's a matter
It
of
was a matter of when and how, not a
no.
matter of if.
'Cause there were a few players there that could have made their move. But I pretty happy with the way things went out with in that department. But about Alice anyway, poor Scottish girl lost in her own life, not sure what to do with herself.
I know. She was stuck between a rock and a hard place
Yeah.
her entire life. Between being her loyalty to her stepmoms, and she doesn't even remember her real mom. And like, her poor stepmom tried so hard.
Oh, she did, and it was sad. Like, and everything with a good intention too. Even like the wedding gift that
Yeah.
Caddy just blew up over.
Yeah, like
Oh,
she moves in and she literally doesn't change anything for a month and then asks the girl specifically, "Okay, what do we not touch?" And then Caddy's over here like that pot holder and that pot holder and that pot holder and like literally everything in the house. Like, so the loyalty between her stepmother, who's the only mother she remembers, and her sister is just
yeah, and her sister does not make it easy. She had some issues
mm-mm. She needed to go to therapy.
so bad. At
Like, it
first, I
was
thought
really
I was
funny. I came for this book for the toxic vampires, and every single one of my notes about Caddy was needs therapy more than the vampires.
Oh my God, she did though. I felt so bad for her. Like every time she was in the picture, it's like, girl, you need to
Like,
talk to someone.
girl, go to therapy.
Everybody in this book needed therapy, but
Everyone.
I feel like she could have
Man, you know
been
what Ezra should get into after he decides to stop the coffee bar?
a
He
supernatural
should be a
therapist.
therapist. Like, no, Ezra would be the perfect therapist
Yeah, I
until he hits his point of no return. But, like, he's doing everything possible not to get there. He's got a good couple hundred years left
I
before he
think he
gets
will.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah, her background just made me depressed for her. I was like, Alice needs some antidepressants, and Caddy needs very, very, very intense grief therapy.
and even though she gets super mad at Lottie for saying like this isn't like death, like you still have a life. This is still a life. It's a second chance for her to make it
Mm-hmm.
better for her. It sucks if she's dead, sure.
I think Alice accepts that
Mhm.
at the end of the book,
I think so too.
but it takes the entirety of her plot line to get there.
I mean, it's a pretty hefty one to start out with, especially with her past. She just arrived, what, a few weeks before that?
Yeah, so this is
Just
literally
arrived.
like her second or third week of school.
Yeah. And
She just moved overseas
goes to a
from
party. Yeah, from Scotland.
Scotland, so she knows literally zero people, and she's running away from her messy family situation that ended with her sister's suicide. Like, Lottie had a lot of girlfriends, and they were all very tragically murdered by her psycho ex
Which
girlfriends.
would make you want to stop dating people if you have an ounce of decency in you, which Lottie apparently does not.
Which Ezra calls her out on.
Getting laid is more important, apparently.
But I think that's kind of a good way to show that I think being with Sabine kind of hastened her point of no return. Plus, there was the whole self loathing of Lottie did not know what she was getting into
No.
when she was turned. I don't think she understood what was happening. I think she just thought she was getting laid for the first time.
Oh,
And surprise, you're a vampire, and surprise, we're murdering your fiance.
yeah, no, that was traumatic.
Yeah, so she just starts that way with no idea of what just happened to her. Like, so she just has a lot of self loathing for being a vampire. And I think that sped along her decline, plus Sabine being Sabine.
Sabine was Sabining.
She was Sabining hard.
Sabine hard. There's no denying that like Sabine meeting her decline or going through her decline sped up Lottie's as well.
Plus, Lottie struggled a lot with World War One and Two.
Yes, she did. And like Sabine just brushed it off the entire time. If it was she was so cold
Yeah,
about it. It was so it must have been so miserable.
yeah, because like I think that Lottie had empathetic powers that Sabine didn't have.
Yeah.
And so she's feeling the entirety of World War II and World War One's deaths at all times, forever. Yep.
So far gone at that point. Like her erratic decisions, even when she even turned to Lottie, that was pretty erratic of her to like go
Yeah.
grab Preston and bring him and be like, here
That
you
poor
go.
man just fell in love with the wrong girl. He did nothing wrong.
Kid. Alice finally finds Lottie, confronts her. She's like, you did this to me. Lottie's like, hold on, sit down, I have a story. Tells us the entire book.
I know. Like the fact that the book is this thick and about 85% of it is seriously Lottie just telling Alice, here's what you missed on Glee.
Yeah. TLDR. But she gives us the Cliff Note editions of the suffering of Sabine.
It's very heavily implied that she tells everything that she knows.
Yeah, I think so too. Like even the Maria part. Which I don't wait,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I don't
Maybe
know.
not the Maria
I
parts because
don't
I
know
don't
if
think she knew.
I don't think she ever talked to Lottie about the Maria part because that's something she took to the grave with her.
Like Lottie knew a little bit because they visited her old villa once.
Yeah, but she didn't say anything else.
She refused to talk about it.
Yeah. But let's talk about vampire bars. The little coffee shop they had.
Oh, the coffee shop I loved. I thought you were talking about the fake vampire bar.
Oh, no, 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 no.
That one I loved. I would unironically go there as a human.
I went to just to hang out. Just hang
I
out.
just want to hang out with Ezra. He was my favorite vampire. I want to be his best friend.
Yeah, he was very nice. He seemed to have a really good head on his shoulders and like knew how to take care of himself and his own while not disturbing humans, you know.
Yeah.
So
And like the fact that he's owned this building since the Revolutionary War and he just keeps reinventing it every like 100 years or so. I'm like,
he's a good guy. I hope he stays around for a while and like he helps Alice because we don't know after the
mm-hmm.
fact. So the three of them finally see each other. Sabine says hello because of the promise. Lottie can't attack her. So
So Lottie has a thing where Sabine realized if she kills Lottie's lovers, Lottie just gets traumatized and hides. But instead, if she turns Lottie's lovers, she can torture Lottie more by forcing Lottie to kill them because Lottie hates vampires. She refuses to be someone else's Sabine. So every single vampire that Sabine turns for Lottie, which is really just let's torture my ex-girlfriend for leaving me, Lottie will kill. So she killed at least 3 of them
yeah,
because Sabine turned them. And so she doesn't turn Alice.
no, she does not.
And that she was gonna. But she needed Alice because it was the first time in a while that she knew where Sabine was approximately, how to get her attention. And so she was like, Alice is a weapon, so I get her to kill Sabine, and then I kill her, and then we've got 2 less vampires in the world.
Yeah, she was starting to. I think that's part of her decline right there.
It 100% was.
100%. Whoa, camera. But yes, the showdown is excellent. I love the fact that so she literally the brain the mental gymnastics she has to play with Sabine from
I
like,
know.
using the ashes, her mother's ashes
I
in the
know.
blood to being like,
Which,
and she didn't drink it. Let's go take a shower.
yeah, like I think that she could see how far gone Sabine was because Sabine's like, hunt or sex. That is all I can do. And so she realized that the hunt wasn't going to work. So she had to go to option number 2.
Yeah, she had to try to seduce. It wasn't the hairbrush because that was in Lottie's bag because she sees it
Mm-hmm.
after. But yeah, no, that was pretty Uno reverse, bitch.
For reals.
The fact she has no time to just react is just poof.
I know. She turns into ashes and conveniently goes down the shower train.
My gosh, she was horrible. She wasn't, she became horrible.
She started out the epitome of justifiable female rage,
Yeah,
and she ended horrible.
horrible. Freaking the plot twist. It took me a while to stop being in denial that this was going to happen. Because I'm like, no, she's gonna kill Lottie. Like there's no way.
Yeah, I did not initially see her killing Lottie coming.
Yeah.
And then, because my brain conveniently forgot about the laced blood.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what's going to happen? Because I could tell that Lottie was probably going to kill Alice because that is her pattern.
Yep.
She kills any of her lovers that were turned by Sabine. So I was like, man, are all 3 of them going to die? Is Lottie going to be the only survivor? And then they Uno reverse that on me.
When the first when that ex that gets impaled by the tooth the hairbrush was mentioned, like that she killed her just in cold blood. Like I knew that this is gonna come back up at some point.
Yeah.
Like, nope. She's telling Alice this. Like Alice is great. She's gonna kill me next. The tainted blood, I completely forgot about that too for a hot minute. And it was like, oh, that's right. That's why they went to shower
Oh
because
no.
you don't know. Oh yes. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh.
I know. And like Lottie was my favorite. And it was really interesting because I had a conversation with a couple other people about this book, and they were like, I don't get why Alice killed Lottie. And I was like, because Lottie was gonna kill her. And they were like, no, she wasn't. I was like, Lottie has a pattern of behavior, and she most definitely had a weapon on her and was trying to stalk through that apartment without Alice knowing. Yeah, she was gonna kill her.
Like there was no doubt in my mind she was gonna kill her.
Mm-mm.
No doubt in my mind. And it was nicely Uno reversed. I wonder, I need a second book now. I need to know what's gonna happen with Alice. Is she gonna like hang out with Ezra? Is she gonna meet other people? What's gonna happen? Is she going
Who
out of
knows?
Boston?
The E. Schwab, she said this is a standalone. So it's ending.
Love.
I like it as an ending
I did.
because I like how it ends with Alice realizing for the first time in her life she has a life of her own. Like she's not living Caddy's dream anymore. She's not living for her sister. She's not living for the mom she doesn't remember. It's the first time that life is for Alice. And I
Mhm.
really like that ending for her.
Yeah, I hope she does well. Hope she goes
I
out
hope she
and
does too.
passes and like hopefully finds a good group. I don't know, because that's such like every time maybe it's just Sabine being toxic bitch as she was, but I wonder if every time vampires get together, something just happens and they all just die.
Well, I mean, we look at this, there's a pattern that says no, because we had Antonia and Jack, they ran a speakeasy where nothing like that happened, and they
That's true.
specifically made it as a vampire refuge, especially if you're trying to get away from a toxic elder vampire. We've got Ezra and his coffee shop. It seems that there's these pockets of an actual vampire civilization
Uh-huh.
that Sabine just avoided because she was like, ew, they're not toxic and horrible like I am.
Like there was no good reason for her to avoid them.
I know.
It wasn't.
I wonder if it was trauma from Mateo and from Hector and Renata.
Really? You think so?
I think because every single time she was with a group, it ended badly. Mostly because of her own bad
Yeah, it
decisions.
was because of her.
But in her messed up little brain, it would be like, oh, vampire groups are bad and they try to hurt me.
Well, I mean, Hector and Renata wasn't really her fault. It was definitely Hector.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that was all Hector.
yeah. No, that was a face palm. Like.
That was Hector being a man.
So how do we feel? How do we feel about this book rating wise?
This is an Infinity Star out of 5 book.
I agree with you. It's solid. It grabbed me by the balls, man.
I know. It was my second favorite read of the year, only because Sunrise on the Reaping
Oh yeah, you did like
grabbed my heart.
yeah, I remember you telling me about that. This is right up there for me too. Um, it was just it's hard to put into words. I
Mhm.
can't say anything I haven't already said. But like description, the character building, character arc, the story itself, like it was refreshing. It was
The
new.
world building,
The
the way
world
that
building
she
was
like
amazing. Yeah, and it was nice like associating real life events, like I said, the plague and the Spanish Inquisition to vampires just hunting. Like it was cool. And it kind of I love Castlevania. I love like the games and the Netflix series. Like I just really like Castlevania and it gave me some Castlevania vibes that I really like. So this was Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. There you go. And highly recommended by Pixigonal staff.
Yes.
Highly recommended.
Infinity Bones.
Get your hands.
Infinity Bones out of 5.
If you manage to watch this and have us spoil everything for you and you still want to read it, watch it.
You should still read it.
If you
You
read
should
it,
still read it.
if you read it, listen to it. It's such a good experience because the narrators, the three of them are fantastic. Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.